Hey guys, David here. Today is a really exciting day. Welcome to my brand new series in the industry. Today we're going to be talking about Damian Keys' new book, Stop Selling Music. I'm going to review it, talk about it, and you're going to get all the insights and all the value as to why you should buy this book. Coming right up! This is your breakthrough. You can fly, you can soar, time to try that open door. Okay guys, so before we get into it, let me tell you a little story and a little bit of background into how I know Damian, how this book review's come about, and a little bit of what you're going to get in this series. So Damian and I go back 5-6 years maybe now. We've known each other quite a while, and basically first introduced when he was just setting up. He did a talk down in Chichester that I went to, so that's when we first met. He gave me loads of advice on my music and what I should be doing, and then we've stayed in touch. He then played at my mate's wedding in his band, which was really cool, and then I went travelling, and we met up in New York. He was in New York at the same time as me, so that was really cool. And then I recently got him a gig in front of 1,500 business owners at the Business Excellence Forum. So Damian and I have known each other for quite a while, and it was a huge privilege to be able to get a first look into this book. I read it in a weekend. I could not put it down, and it's so good, so we're going to dive into that real soon. So what you're going to get in this series, in the industry, for me, is all about giving you guys advice, value, tips, tricks of the trade, basically. I'm going to be interviewing different creators, guys who are working in the industry, musicians, people, friends that I know, all that kind of stuff. You're also going to get advice from me, songwriting advice, how to make money in music, how I've done it, to the certain success that I've had. So that's a little bit about what you're going to get in this series. I'm really excited about what's coming up. It's going to be good. So why don't we now dive into the book and what you're going to get. Before we also get started, make sure you hit this like button and hit the subscribe button before you forget. I should probably also mention this is Damo's second book. So his first book was The Rule Breaker's Guide to Social Media, which is also awesome. I'll put links to both of them in the description, so make sure you go and check them out. Give them a buy, Amazon, easy. So in Damo's book there's 10 parts. 10 parts to the book. Now what he makes clear is try and see it as a kind of like a rules manual. You don't need to kind of read it from start to finish like a novel. You can pick it up when there's something you've got a question about, go to that specific point and review it. Learn about it, read it, and they're in really small chunks of information, so it's bite size, which is really useful. So part 1 is all about practicing. He talks about recording yourself when you're practicing so you can watch yourself back, which is a really useful tool. Seeking out self-improvement. Now this is massive. This is speaking to the right people to review you and being open to that feedback. He talks about what to practice, not just practicing the songs that you know, but really practicing the parts in that song that you need to, and smashing through them rather than spending half an hour playing the songs that you know over and over. But he also makes clear in this chapter that you need to practice what you love. So don't ever lose the love and the creativity and the art of making music and playing to songs that you really like. So keep doing that, but also practice the stuff that you need to practice. Part 2, he talks about songwriting. Now this is where I was like, yes, get in there. He talks about top line melodies, auto-tune, which in fact he says just use it. Don't be afraid of using it. Everybody's using it right now, let's be clear. Not to the extent that it doesn't sound like you, but to use it as a tool to help you. No singer is perfect. No singer is going to hit the note on the head every single time, because sometimes going into a recording environment is quite nerve-wracking. You're going to mess up times. I do. Like, I'm not a perfect singer. I mess up on my tracks. Auto-tune is a useful tool to be able to fix that. He talks about lyrics and the subject matter, and that is so important. What matters is how you convey your message to your audience in the song. Tell the story with the lyrics. Don't be all haphazard with, you know, emotions or, you know, stuff that just doesn't make sense, because your listener isn't going to be able to follow it. And the last bit in the songwriting, he talks about having lessons. Songwriting lessons. Why is that a bad thing? Why do people see getting advice, having a coach, someone to train you, things like that as like a negative thing? I know showing your weaknesses is daunting, but actually, if you put it into perspective, when you lay your weaknesses out and you improve them, they're going to turn into strengths. So surely it's a good thing. Part 3 talks about rehearsing. Rehearsing with the band, rehearsing by yourself, and what that looks like. Planning your rehearsal, breaking your songs down so they're tight. Rehearsing for the show, which is massive. I tell people this all the time. When I'm preparing for a gig, I'm not just practicing the songs I'm going to play, I'm practicing for the show. What am I going to say? What description am I going to talk about the song in between songs? When am I going to take a drink of water, etc. Things like that. You do need to plan that out, because then it gives you a good space of when you're on stage in front of those people, nothing's going to surprise you. You're ready for it. The marketing opportunity of when you're rehearsing with your band, everything that you can take from that, content-wise, to put on your socials, to use, to promote the band. If you're going on tour, why not film the rehearsal? Do a little video of the new song that you're hoping to release, that you're going to be playing at the show. And then finally he talks about your set list. Now this is key. Damo's played over 2,000 gigs. Like, it's mental. So this is what he says. The opener, your first 2 or 3 songs. So these have got to be a strong start. Usually your best couple of songs. Then you want to give the chance for your front person in the band, or me, to have a little chat with the audience. That's when you're going to change things up a bit. Then, my speciality, you're going to play a ballad. So you're going to really strip it back, chill it down, sing a love song. He says in this paragraph, if it was a boxing match, now's the time to line up some combos and knock your audience away. And then your final song, the encore. This is where you put the audience to bed. Make sure the audience don't ever forget your performance with this song. This is where you pull out all the stops and go for it. Part 4, he talks about performing. So, you know, things like gig etiquette, what time to turn up, stage presence, what to wear on stage. So many bands won't have an image. You know, you need to have some colour, some sort of style, because that gives you your brand. He also talks about how to front a band. So if you're the front man of your band, you need to read this book. And then he also talks about his own experience of when it all went wrong. So I'm just going to read you this very quick. I once ran out on stage in front of 40,000 people at a festival when it had been raining and the stage was wet. When I came to my spot, the top half of my body stopped, but my legs kept sliding and I hit the floor heavier than the entire lineup of Download Festival. As I fell, I heard the crowd roar, "Way!" While I was embarrassed, I laughed it off, got up and started playing. Now what a hero. Imagine that happening. You just feel awful. Worst thing ever. 40,000 people laughing at you because you've slipped over on stage as you're coming out to play your first song. Part 5, he talks about touring. Now, I'm going to do a video on touring because I think there's some advice from my experience that I can add to you, but this book is incredible, incredible. If you want to be a touring musician full-time and that's your dream and that's what you want to go after, then this is so good. Rule 1 of touring, bring some earplugs. There's going to be someone in the band or on the tour bus that snores, so that's a great tip. He talks about how to maximise the time on the road. A lot of time when you're touring, you're sat in the car, you sat on the bus or in the van or whatever, maybe on the train for some of you. So utilising that time to the best of your ability. Part 6 is gear. Now gear isn't everything. Some people are absolute gear nerds, which is great for them, but a £3,000 guitar isn't going to make you the best guitarist in the world. So if you can do the same job with a £120 guitar, consider your options. Part 7 is marketing. Now there's so many bands and artists that aren't doing this right, and a lot of what I want to give off on this channel is help for that. Part 8, he talks about money, which I find really interesting because there's a fine line in the music industry with money, from what you should do for free and what you should do and expect to be paid for. A great little one-liner in this book is use the power of free to increase your worth as a musician. Music lessons, educating people is a good way to generate some money, but also a covers band. Now, a covers band is great because you can play weddings, you can play functions, events, all that kind of stuff, and people love them because they're singing all the songs they know, all of their favourite songs, and you get paid to do it. And finally, he talks about stop selling music. Now, this is the key part of the book because that's the book title. In short, the negatives of trying to sell music outweigh the positives. So you've got to look at it like this. If you're telling your audience to buy your tracks on iTunes and stream them for free on Spotify, you're confusing them. Be clear with your message. Instead of trying to achieve goals in 4 different areas, give them one thing to focus on. Like right now, like, subscribe on this video. And the problem is, people aren't buying music, so stop trying to sell it to them. Now, he's not saying you shouldn't sell CDs or vinyls or whatever at your shows, because that can be classified as merchandise. Same with your t-shirts or hats or whatever. But ultimately, you're better off getting your music out there for people to listen to and monetizing your brand. Part 9 is life lessons. Now, I love this chapter. There's so much value in it. There's literally so much value in it. Now, a lot of this chapter is all about Damian's experience, which is so good. That's why he is a music industry expert, because of his experience, because of what he's done and his background. Damian talks about his experience of when he was 19 and performed at Hyde Park, to then the next day performing in front of 4 people. You're gonna have highs and lows, like with any normal job. You're gonna have a good day and you're also gonna have a bad day. He also talks about finding the positives in every situation. He talks about the art of control, not being a dick, because there's so many dicks in the music industry. He also says taking constructive criticism is okay. Now, I think this is massive. It's really, really important to know that. You want to be able to take on criticism like that. My dad used to criticize me all the time, but in a good way. When I was performing at an early age, he would recommend things, suggest this, oh, why don't you try that? That's really important. That's going to help develop you and make you better. And a great one-liner in this book is, haters gonna hate, creators gonna create. In part 10, the final part in the book, is self-management. Now, the first bit in this is so important, something you really need to define before you do anything else. What do you want? Setting yourself some clear goals and clear targets of really what you want to achieve is going to help you in the long run. I think this quote is great. You don't learn songs until you can play them. You learn them until you can't play them wrong. And I think the most important bit about this book is the fact that Damo clearly sets out a way you can achieve what you want in the music industry. The control factor. We're living in a time right now where you are in control of everything you do. You are in control with what you post out online, how you post it, how you come across, your image, everything like that, how you want people to see your music. So ultimately it's down to you. If you set a clear plan and a clear goal, you can easily achieve it. Lastly, in the book, he gives you another 30-day challenge. Now, he had a 30-day challenge in the Rule Breaker's Guide to Social Media, which I thought was great. I can't express how much value is in this book. For £10, you get in thousands of pounds worth of value, and each day has something different for you to do, which I think is great because it keeps things fresh, it gives you motivation, it works out what you can and can't do, and advice throughout the whole process. So there you go. I think it was an incredible read. It's definitely worth the money. It's, to me, if you don't know Damian, go and check him out, but it's a no-brainer of a buy. If you're in the music industry and you haven't got this book yet, go and get it. Like, I don't understand why you haven't got it yet. It's been out for over a week. It's very much a rules manual. Pick it up when you need some information about a certain topic and then put it down again. I obviously read the whole thing from back to front because I knew I was doing this video and wanted to bring as much value to the table as I could. But Damo, great job. Thanks for sending me this copy. It's gonna really help me, but it's also gonna help so many of you out there. So guys, if you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash it if you're feeling good, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about the book. If you're gonna buy it, what your thoughts are. That'd be really cool. And yeah, I'll see you in a week. This is incredible, really, really incredible. You just need to go and buy it. I don't know why you haven't brought it yet. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe, and yeah, see you on the other side. Well, not the other side really. Take it easy.